Whatever rocks your socks, whatever spins your top, whatever winds your watch, whatever flips your flop, whatever turns you on, whatever flies your flag, whatever bangs your gong, or whatever swings your bag. Do it often, but do it well, 'cause nobody knows and there's no way to tell when the ride ends.
Good morning. Welcome back to Turtle Beach. How was your week? Let's get Steve in frame. Do you mind? There we go. The Indy twins are not outside this morning. Oh, yeah, they are. Chamnan put them back. Chamnan and I have noticed, have come to, after a year and a half of very close association, we have finally dropped the kuns. Oh, I can't do this morning. Look at that sun. That's going to be way too bright. Let's give it a shot, shall we? You and me. We'll walk out to the beach. We'll sit down. We'll arrange the camera on the tripod, and we will see. We'll see if we can't do something this morning. Chamnan and I have stopped calling each other Kun Chamnan and Kun Step. We call each other now Nan and Tep. It took us 18 months, a year and a half to get there, but we got there. There's some day laborers in my usual spot where I shoot. We're setting up for the Turtle Festival, which will be a week from today. I don't know if you can see it. They're setting up the giant marquee tent. A week from today, I will be marching, I hope, in the, God willing, and barring misadventure, I will be marching in the Turtle Day Parade. And these day laborers are not sure what I'm filming. They think I'm pointing the camera at them. They don't know me very well at all, do they? Oh, yeah. Oh, that's way too bright. See if I get the sun behind the column. That's a little better. Can I reach my coffee from there? I don't know. Here we are on Turtle Beach once again, me and you. I'm making the locals uncomfortable. Nothing new there. All right, I'm going to put this up on the tripod. This is a very nice, beautiful tripod given to me by another vlogger who goes under the name Cology, the letter C and then Kology. Very, very pleasant young man from Malaysia. And boy, I don't know about that. I'm up very, very late this morning. It's I think almost 7:30. I woke up last night about midnight to pee, as is my wont. And can you see my face? Yeah, I don't know about this. I might have to redo the whole thing. You'll just have to bear with me. We'll both have to redo the whole thing. The hell is that? That is a big damn shoal of fish. Well, not too big. I suppose 100 years ago it would have been 10 times that size. But that, can you see that? That's moving under the water. That's a whole bunch of little fish getting chased by something big. Holy shit. Look at that. Look at that. Man, that's great to see. Life in the ocean, right? There's something still alive. It's alive! All right, listen, forgive me for you know I suck at tech, right? You know that's not my thing. And the chair is falling off the concrete. And my coffee cup is way out of reach. And these local guys are making me uncomfortable. And I'm making them uncomfortable. And meanwhile, life goes on, right? Nature goes on. No matter what we're doing, no matter what Steve's doing, there's going to be fish in the ocean. I have no idea what kind of fish those might be, but they're moving. They're breaking the surface, and I think that typically happens when a predator is underneath them. It's pretty deep where that is. That's probably, I don't know, 30 feet deep, because this beach, whoosh, you don't see anybody running on this beach because you'll break your ankles. All right, so we're a week away from the Turtle Festival. They're setting up the big damn marquee. I'm gonna try again. I don't know if you can see that, but there will be a marquee. It's like, I don't know, almost a half-mile long. And they'll be selling stuff. They'll be eating and shopping under that marquee, all in the name of preserving the turtles. And I think it's great. You know, buy a gelato and save a turtle. I don't know what I'll put on Friday next week. We'll just have to find out together. Look at that! Look at that! I don't like the light on my face. I think I've got zero light on my face. But I love that shoal of fish move. Oh! Yeah, this isn't going to work. Look at all those damn fish. Wow. All right, we're going to try this again. Bear with me, folks. Thank you. I do very much appreciate your patience. I understand, you know, you come to YouTube expecting a certain level of technical competency. You have a right to expect that. You are investing your valuable time. YouTube is free to watch, but you got to sit through commercials, and you got to sit through Steve stumbling over his camera equipment. I have my thoughts for the day in a book given to me by a visitor, Norel. And I very much appreciated Norel's visit. This week, I was visited by a lot of people, 2-3 people every single day. And I think after the Turtle Festival, what I'm going to do is, God, 7 minutes already. I haven't even begun. After the Turtle Festival, I'm going to institute a salon hours, maybe 10 to 12 in the morning. I will offer free coffee and conversation on Turtle Beach from 10 a.m. to 12 every day, say Monday through Friday. That'll give me time to finish the bike ride in the morning, get home, get showered, move my bowels, and be ready to receive legions of fans. At 10 a.m., people can hang around for a couple hours, talk about art, talk about whatever they want to talk about, except politics. Listen, I really don't want to hear your thoughts on whether or not Justin Trudeau is the illegitimate love child of Fidel Castro. I don't care about Brexit. You guys, I don't care about anything except this beach. I don't care about anything happening in the world except this beach. I don't care what's happening in Parliament House in Bangkok. I certainly don't care what's happening in Washington, D.C. or London or Brisbane or anywhere off this beach, all right? Anything further than Cloy, don't bring it here. You want to come and you want to talk about trash on the beach. You want to talk about man's inhumanity to man, fine. But not, we're not going to talk about, leave that shit in Facebook where it belongs, all right? Yeah. There's Steve's rant for the day. I'm going to open my notebook from Norel and see what I wrote down to talk about this week. I have no idea. Oh, I was thinking, where were you in 87? This beach was made a park in 1987. I would go out on a limb and guess that the shoals of fish were much, much bigger in 87. I love that arrow. These little kiosks in shadow are arrows pointing to various places. It's pointing to Sri Lanka at the moment. But I love that shape. It's right outside my door. And I look at it all day long. Yeah, where were you in '87? This beach, the attempt and I talked last week in the tour of the coding and building rules and regulations here. You can't build on this beach. You can't add anything. You have to stay within the existing footprint of a building. What was there in '87? The little sushi restaurant I live in was there apparently in 1987. The big yellow house, everything up and down the beach was there in 1987. Though honestly, I think Chip Valley seems a lot newer than that, but there was probably a building on that site and they tore it down to the foundation and rebuilt it within the footprint that was there in '87. So I've been thinking, this place has been waiting for me, frozen in amber, since 1987. Where were you, Steve? What were you doing in '87? Well, '88, I came here as a tourist for the first time, as an adult for the first time, not here to Turtle Beach. I came to Phuket, fell in love with Phuket in '88, and ended up living there 7 years. '87, I would have been working in New York City in the film industry as a prop man. I think we shot Do the Right Thing by Spike Lee in 1988, 87, 86. And that was my swan song. That was the pinnacle of my career as a prop man in the film industry. And the next year I made the decision to come here. It's as if the fates knew that when Steve finally was able to come here in his retirement, that Phuket would be ruined and Steve would need another place that was like the Phuket he found in 1987. And so the fates said, well, there's some turtles up there on the beach at Thai Bun. Let's make it a park and freeze all development on the beach until Steve gets there. And I got here 18 months ago, and in the last 18 months, I have seen, I think probably a dozen homes rented here that had stood vacant for years. Every time I leave the house now, I see farang, there's business, there's money. I'm really anxious to see what the Turtle Festival will be like this year. Having seen it last year at the end of COVID, this time last year, everybody was kind of just getting confident enough to take the masks out of their bag, right, and leave them at home and not go everywhere with a mask in your bag. And I'm interested to see what this new boom era, this new high season Turtle Festival will be like. But yeah, where were you in '87 when this place was frozen in amber? Leave a comment, let us know. Man, I'm dragging ass today. I apologize. Yeah, I was up last night for 2 hours. I don't know if I told you this. I think I started to tell you and then got distracted by fish. But yeah, I got up at midnight to pee. Couldn't go back to sleep, so I defrosted my freezer at 1 o'clock in the morning. And I was up till about 3 because, I took everything out of the refrigerator and the freezer, put it in an ice chest, and then realized it was going to take a couple hours for all that ice to melt. So I surfed the web and sat up, and I glued trash to other trash in the middle of the night, and eventually went right back to sleep, no problem. But I woke up an hour and a half later than I usually do, and you know how that is. You've had enough sleep, but because your schedule's off, you woke up at a different hour. You're all woggy and thick in the head. Welcome to Steve's world. Different mug, 5 baht from the Thuan Jai store. I've been watching a guy named Jerry Shepard. Gene Shepard. God, Steve. Me and names. I've been doing the Sunday New York Times crossword puzzle since the 80s. I keep it on a clipboard next to the toilet. And that is where I can really see a cognitive decline in myself. At 66, and after 50 years of daily broccoli consumption, I had a broccoli company reach out to me and offer sponsorship. Yeah, I don't know, just an email yesterday. I don't know what if anything, will ever come of it. Yeah, but I've been offered sponsorship by a broccoli company. or somebody's catfishing me. Either way, it was a hoot. It brightened my day yesterday. I've been watching listening to old tapes of Gene Shepard. This was a guy who from 1946 to 1977, he had a nightly radio show in New York City for 1 hour from 11 p.m. to midnight, 5 nights a week, Monday through Friday, every single night from 1946 to 1977, 31 years. And it was just him talking into the microphone. He never had a script. He'd bring the day's newspapers like Will Rogers and read a headline and riff off that headline. But it was just his mind and a microphone. He didn't have a studio full of sidekicks. He didn't go out on location. He didn't do skits. He didn't do recorded music. It was 1 hour of what's going on tonight, late at night in the interior of Gene Shepard's mind. And he was on the air originally in New York City, and it was very New York City specific originally. And then nationwide, every single day, 5 days a week. I assume he took vacations here and there, but it was just Gene. It was just him and the microphone. And as he took off, like after he'd been in the business for about 10 years, he went to his bosses, and this is a very old, very famous showbiz story. He went to his bosses and said, look, you're selling too many commercials on my show. We have to break away for ad spots far too often. And they said, oh, we're sorry, Gene. Does that disrupt your train of thought? Does that interrupt your stories, your anecdotes? He said, no. It's distracting the engineer. He said, you got to understand, I'm in the studio at 11 p.m. to midnight alone with an engineer. And I'm looking through a glass window at the engineer at his mixing booth. And I'm talking to him. I'm telling him my stories. I'm telling him my opinions. I'm reading the headlines to the engineer. And he's so busy now queuing up ads, because at early radio, they were on a disc. They were on a vinyl record, right? The advertisements. And the engineer had to cue them up in his headsets. And he said, if the engineer's not listening, who am I talking to? I need that guy. I need him to listen. Well, the engineer immediately went and asked for more money. And from that, now we get, everybody's got a sidekick, Joe Rogan and all the shock jocks, all the guys who just go out and riff, right? I don't know where it is where you come from, who it is where you come from. Where I come from, Don Imus, Howard Stern, Joe Rogan now. And typically they'll have a sidekick, they'll have a guest on, they'll have somebody. They're talking to somebody. To the point that Gene Shepard wanted to give up sponsors in order to have the attention of that technician on the other side of the glass, because that's who he was talking to for 31 years. He was talking to the technician. I don't have that problem. This conversation is going on in my head 24/7, whether I'm saying it into a camera to you or not. I don't need an engineer. Honestly, somebody else in the room is a distraction to me. And typically I'm just waiting for somebody else to leave. Most of my life, I'm waiting for whoever it is to stop looming over my cubicle and go away and let me do my job. So I don't know, I guess I'm an aberration. You will never see a sidekick. You will never see me do an interview. I will never share this frame willingly with anybody else. But here's to you, Gene Shepard. Can you imagine 31 years doing one job, and that one job is just being you for 1 hour a day in front of a microphone. But in Gene's case, it came at the end of the day from 11 o'clock to midnight. I guess I have scared away the day laborers. In my case, I always shoot these things first thing in the morning because that's when I assume I will be at my brightest. But as I think I mentioned, did I finish my thought? Having done the New York Times Sunday crossword every day of my life, virtually, for about 5 minutes, seated in the bathroom every day since the 1980s, I can really see a slowing down of these mental capacities to the point that I think it might be incipient Alzheimer's. Seriously, I'm having gaps that are pretty frightening. And, I made God a promise that 1 year on Turtle Beach would be enough for me, and I've been here now 18 months. Maybe it's not the third and final STEMI heart attack in the LAD that takes me out of this place. Maybe it's simply I will lose my faculties and my neighbors will become tired of taking care of Steve or Kun Steve, Lung Tape, and they'll ship me off to a home somewhere. But I really, really notice it in those moments. I'm far dumber when I poop than I was in the 80s. Purely anecdotal evidence suggests that perhaps it is the pooping that is making me stupid, since that's where the data is collected. Perhaps Steve should try to stop. I don't know. So yeah, in Gene Shepard, I think salon hours. Oh, it's 20 minutes already. Oh man. Bing, 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 bing. I've thought of a word, copyright 2024, trademark Steve Rosse. The term is tourpat. A tourpat, and I'm not sure what the definition of that word is, but I like it very much. Tourpat, the combination of tourist and expat. Either it's a long-term tourist, somebody who's been here long enough to be able to order a meal in Thai, but they're still on a tourist visa. They don't own anything here. They live out of a backpack. Or an expat who lives like a tourist. Some guy who's been here forever, but he still rents everything and needs his phone to translate to order a meal. He's been here for years. He still can't order a meal in Thai. Either he's got a Thai helper who does the ordering for him, or he simply trusts the phone, or he points at pictures in a menu. I like this word, tourpat. It falls off the tongue, and I think we need a word to define this, but I'm unclear yet on the definition. So chip in the comment section. What do you think defines a tourpat? Or do you simply not like the word and you wish Steve would shut up already? It's been 20 minutes. I was going to tell you a story about me and Vance Borgelli, but it's already 21 minutes. So I'm just going to wrap up by saying this week was a milestone for me. Yesterday and the day before, I drove my motorcycle over the mountain into Panga to go to immigration to change the address on my visa. I have this brand new visa that I paid, and I'm going to be honest with you, I paid almost 40,000 baht to an agent who promised me all sorts of stuff. Yada, promised me a driver's license and promised me all sorts of stuff, and I could sing with the band and everything, and nothing. All they did was open the bank account, because you can't do that. I couldn't do that myself. It's all rigged against you. They want you to go to an agent. Immigration wants you to go through an agent. The banks want you to go through an agent. Everybody wants you to go through an agent. So they all push you in three directions to go to an agent and get this done and pay the agent. So all right, I did. She opened the bank account. Go down to Phuket, get my pictures taken here and there, and she said, we need a Phuket address. It's Phuket immigration. And I thought, yeah, all right, fine, whatever. So I went over to my friend John's house, and I took the pictures at my friend John's house and used that address. So now she calls me. I've had the visa 2 weeks. She calls John, and she says, or the immigration calls John, and they said, we're going to do a surprise inspection of Steve Rosse's apartment in your address. And as you're the Chao Kong Ban, we're giving you heads up. Don't tell the Falang, but we're going to come. But he should be around over the next week. He should be around to wait for the officers. And the agent called me and said, oh, Kun Steve, you either have to wait at John's house for a week for the officers to do their surprise inspection, or you have to pay us 6,000 more baht. And we'll make this go away. It's new rule, Kun Steve. And I just got really angry at these guys. I blew up at her on the phone. Burn that bridge. Cannot go back to that agent. And I said, screw it. I'm going to sack up. I'm going to go to Panga, where I should have been going in the first place. Should have been able to do this myself. Did it myself 35 years ago. And I put on my long pants, my big boy pants. I put on a shirt with buttons. I shaved. I put in my tooth. And I got on the motorcycle and I went up the mountain and down the mountain, went to immigration, and thanked God for the 10,000th time I'm not a Burmese day laborer, because boy, they herd them like cattle through immigration. They do. It's really scary. It's kind of like, the bus station in Berlin on Kristallnacht. Yeah, you thank God you're not a Burmese day laborer, but you go into the air-conditioned little farang space where the free coffee is and where everybody speaks English and calls you sir and smiles at you. And the first day I went, they said, all right, you need the Tabian Ban. I had come with the Tabian Ban. My landlord had given me a copy of the Tabian Ban and signed it. Come with that, and the lady said, no, you have to come back tomorrow with 2 more documents. You need his Bat Pataton, his ID card, and you need a copy of your sanya signed by both he and you in the copy, and then physically signed on the copy. So 2 signatures of each of you on the sanya, the lease. So I drove back up the mountain, down the mountain, back to Turtle Beach, and I went and I got these new documents, and the next morning I drove up the mountain and down the mountain to Panga, which is a beautiful, beautiful trip. If you've never taken the Tangkao, the mountain way from Turtle Beach to Panga City, a beautiful, beautiful ride on a motorcycle, beautiful ride, but it's very twisty, turny. You don't go over 30 clicks, and you stop along the way to pee behind a tree. And you get to immigration, and again, you go in the air-conditioned room, and everybody's very polite. And I guess, I put on my long pants again. Phuket immigration was full of guys dressed like bums, and so was Panga immigration. I was used to the little provincial immigration still, caring about how a Falang dresses. There was this European woman in there, and she had one of these wraparound tourist skirts and obviously no underwear. This thing was open, falling. She'd sit down, and this thing was falling open at the hip. She had no underwear on. And she was bare up to her waist on her right hip, nothing, no pubes or nothing, but the side of her leg. It was obvious she was wearing no underwear under this wrap-around batik skirt. And she's there asking for a 30-day extension on her 30-day tourist visa. And I thought, lady, the immigration officers I used to work with, they'd have thrown you out on your ear. But, all right. So I go with my new 3 documents, or these 3 documents on the second day. Bada bing, bada boom, they changed my address. So I don't have to go deal with Phuket immigration. I don't have to go hang out at John's house for a week. I don't ever have to go back to the agent who I insulted on the phone. And from now on, I only work with Panga Immigration. And next year, to renew, I will go myself to Panga Immigration. And I won't need to, I want to point out, I went to this new agent because the one who did my visa last year, I burned that bridge in email. Well, he was rude to me first, all right? So now there are 2 visa agents in Phuket that Steve cannot go back to, but he sacked up, he drove himself to Panga instead of begging Hans for a ride. Please, Hans, I'll buy you Panga noodles if you drive me, and a tank of gas if you drive me to Panga to immigration, because Steve is afraid of new places, afraid of new experiences, afraid of finding his own way alone in a strange city, particularly. So I did it. It's a milestone for me. Both getting through immigration by myself and just getting to Panga by myself. All right, listen. That's it. I've talked so long that the day laborers have left. I don't know what you're seeing when I do that, but those are the only 3 lounge chairs you will ever find on Turtle Beach. It is actually illegal to rent anything on this beach. So Tia and the cops allow him to put 3 chairs out there on the condition that he always say, those are my chairs. I live here and I like to sit on the beach, and those are my 3 chairs. He does rent them out to tourists, but that's it. Those are the only 3 chairs you'll ever see. The only 3 lounge chairs you'll ever see on Turtle Beach. Thank you for your attention. Like, subscribe, and share. This is the most important time of my week. I very much enjoy your attention, and I hope you have an absolutely wonderful week on your own Turtle Beach, on your journey to your own Turtle Beach. And I will see you for the Turtle Festival next week on March 1st. Thanks a lot. Goodbye.
Whatever shaves your sheep, whatever bakes your lamb, whatever digs your peak, whatever smokes your ham, whatever blows your nose, whatever chews your bone, whatever squirts your hose, whatever sings your song. Do it often, but do it well. Nobody knows and there's no way to tell. When you're riding, shoot down to that